The last lecture, let me start. In the last lecture, we have gone through the different steps in the computer vision tasks. That is one more important tools in the case of pattern recognition. You have seen that how the classification, then classifications along with localization, then object detection, then instance segmentation part, right? All these points are clear to all of you now. Can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see that the pattern recognition process should have some features, and uh, they are: a pattern recognition system should recognize familiar pattern quickly and accurately, recognize and classify unfamiliar objects, accurately recognize shapes and objects from different angles, identify patterns and objects even when partly hidden, and then recognize patterns quickly with easy and with automatically. We'll have, if we'll go through the different experimental parts, we'll see them. Okay, I think I don't want to discuss these things now. Okay, let's move the main part of today's lecture, that is learning process. Okay, so what do you understand by the learning? Or can anybody define it? I hope you have heard the term about machine learning. Okay, so in artificial intelligence lecture also we got the term learning. So ki buja tumaloke? What do you understand by the term learning? अभी तक के कुछ तो आइडिया
So
होगा कि
training,
लर्निंग मतलब, या
so training the machine with data so that they are able to recognize the objects clearly and properly, accurately.
right, right answer. Anyone else? See, this term is very important. Okay, so we can define learning as a phenomena through which a system gets trained and becomes adaptable to give result in an accurate manner. So in this definition, what is more important is that for the learning process, what happens? The system is being trained, right? When the training process is completed, okay, the system should be adaptable in nature, means whenever some new data come, then the system should have the ability to classify those data, recognize those data, okay, and that also in an accurate way. So that is the learning process. So learning is the most important phase, as how well the system performs on the data provided to the system. It totally depends on the algorithms that we use on the data. Okay, so that is the learning process. Overall, this learning term we use in our AI domain as a machine learning. Okay, let me show you a figure. Is this diagram clear to you? Look at this diagram because I have already illustrated these facts: unsupervised, supervised, future extraction. Okay, then the clustering parts, then some predictive model, then annotated data. Okay, so look at this diagram. यहाँ पे जो भी words हैं, whatever the words that are mentioned in this figure, tell me whether they all are clear to you or not. Then I will explain each term again. एक बार अच्छे से देख लीजिए आप लोग सभी ভালকে চাই লোৱা এটা এটা টাৰ্ম ভালকে বুজি পাইছে নে নাই ওকে see, unsupervised, then supervised. Can you tell me the difference between these two figures? This unsupervised and this supervised. कोई कहो पाएगा? बोल सकते हैं कोई कि ये दो फिगर जो हैं इसमें क्या डिफरेंस है? ये पार्ट तो छोड़ दो. Okay, leave this part. First consider these two and tell me.
So supervised means the machine knows about the data. It is been supervised.
Yeah, sir, it has like tags under which the other data are stored, and the machine knows that it is in a structured form, and the unsupervised is not specified.
Okay, good answer. Etia, now look at this figure, the first part. हाँ, सबे देखा पाएगा. I hope all of you can see this figure. सभी को दिखाई दे रहा है. यहाँ पे 3 किताब रखा है अनसुपरवाइज के साइड में, और यहाँ नीचे भी रखा है 3 किताब सुपरवाइज में. आप लोगों को क्या करना है, इन दोनों फिगर को अच्छे से देखना है. उसके बाद मुझे बताना है कि क्या डिफरेंस आपको नजर आ रहे हैं. What are the differences you can note down from these two figures?
So there is a log in supervised.
Huh?
Sir, log এটা আছে supervised আছে তো কি হয় ধৰিব পৰা নাই খালি
Okay.
So tags
আৰু
আছে,
ভালকে ক'ত আছে?
supervised tags লাগি আছে.
Okay. আৰু let me see how many
bookmarks on supervised.
I think just a minute. Let me see the number of participants. 32 participants are here. Okay. So 32টা response পাব লাগে at least. সবে ভালকে বুজি আছা, because here see all of you, please note down. This paper pattern recognition is very important for you. Okay, guys. Please take this seriously. As you have chosen this elective, just don't to pass, not just for passing the exam, but this is a very important paper. I'm repeatedly telling it to you. Okay, so I want responses from all of you. Whenever you are going to give response, just mute yourself and give response and then mute. Okay, so 3 participants give the answer correctly. आरु कोनोबाई দিব বিচাৰিছে, कोई और को बताना है इसके बारे में तो जल्दी बताओ, नहीं तो I'll explain this fact. Well, so let me explain. See, this first 3 books, you will not see any level there. Can you? No level is there, right? And in
Yes,
this
sir.
case, some levels are there. Levels means tag. Tag means what? You have idea about what book this is. In this figure, suppose this is a book for say pattern recognition. Okay, so and this is a book for say artificial intelligence, and this is a book for suppose machine learning, and these tags are given. So this will fall under supervised data set, but here you'll see no such tags are there, no such labels are there. So this will fall under unsupervised data set, right? That is what I want to explain it to you. So overall, this form the training set. I'll define what is training set, but now this data set will go through the future extraction part. Okay, and during the future extraction part, so after employing some machine learning algorithm, suppose I am employing K-means algorithm, then we will go through some new data. Okay, and that machine learning algorithm will now analyze those news data, and accordingly some predictive model, going through predictive model, it will give you some annotated data. Means from the new data, जो भी new data आपने दिया उसको ये classify करके बता देंगे, yeah, this falls under this category and this falls under that category, like that. If this is a case of unsupervised learning, 3 groups will be formed, 3 groups will be there, and if this is the case of supervised, then this some 3 levels will be there, right? So that is how machine learning works. This is the workflow of machine learning algorithms. Okay, so grouping of objects based on some common characteristics or some annotated model, if this is the case of supervised learning. So I hope this figure is clear to everybody, right? Can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Features extraction
Yes,
to
sir.
বুঝাই দিব।
Feature extraction part I have explained in the last class. Please refer to the last class because there I have cited various examples, actually many examples for explaining this part. Right or wrong? I think I have explained this feature extraction with the help of some examples in the last lecture. So in short, I can tell you that feature extraction means what? You try to extract the properties of the data. Okay, whatever the data is, you are trying to extract the properties of those data. Okay, that is known as feature extraction. Let me give you the example of feature again, that bike example I have given. So different parts can be treated as different features. Then you will go for feature extraction, means trying to extract the different parts as new features. Okay, so that is a feature extraction part. In short, trying to extract the properties of those data. ঠিক আছে আৰু বেছিকে জানিব হলে মই নেক্সট লাষ্ট যেটো ৰেকৰ্ডেড লেকচাৰ দিছিলো হেতু এবাৰ আকৌ চাই ল'ব then if some problem exists please then again ask me I will explain right ঠিক আছে
Okay, sir.
okay. So you have seen that here I have mentioned the term training, right? So the data set is divided into two categories. One is for the training the model, and that is known as training set, and other is for testing the model, that is known as testing set, right? So I already told you that why should we go for training, but I'm again going to explain this. So overall, whenever we are collecting some data, suppose I have collected 10 data points, okay, so I'm not going to feed the whole data points at a time. मैं सारे data को एक ही साथ feed नहीं करूँगा, बुझी पाए सर? I'll divide this data into two subsets. मैं गोटे data set को आपको दूसरा subset में divide करूँ, ठीक है? दो subset में divide करूँगा, उसके बाद एक सबसेट को पहले इनपुट करूंगा और नेक्स्ट जो सबसेट रहेगा बाद में यूज करूंगा, ठीक है? सो पहले यूज करूंगा the one that subset that I have used first, I'm going to use first, that is known as training data set, and the one that is I'm going to use later on, that will be known as testing set. See, this is the whole data set. Total number of examples that I have cited 10 data points are there. Say training set this one, and that will consist of 7, and test that will consist of 3, right? So what is that point that I am trying to explain here is that the training data set or training set will be going to consist of more data points than the test set. ये जो ट्रेनिंग सेट होगा इसमें टेस्ट सेट से ज्यादा डेटा पॉइंट्स हम क्या करेंगे, एक्यूमुलेट करेंगे. अभी तक आया है समझ में? दिस इज ओवरऑल आपके पास एक ही डेटा सेट है. हाँ क्या
sir এটো মানে কেনেকে ডিভাইড কৰিম, মানে কি ইউজ কৰি মানে কিবা থাকিব ন যেটো পা আমি ডিভাইড কৰিব লাগিব, কেনেকে কৰিম?
right
total to come.
Okay, don't worry about that. But what happened, keneke korim, how we will go for means dividing the data set. You just do one thing, that you'll divide it, suppose in the ratio 70:30 or 75:25 or 80:20. If you are dividing it into 80:20, then 80 belongs to training and 20 belongs to test. But while go for dividing it, you don't need to maintain another particular means what I can say condition. Just divide it. Tomorrow so gute data set to ase, you have the whole data set, and you just divide it into the ratio of 75:25 or 80:20. Okay, you don't need to think about that. How we go for dividing it. Just divide it. When we are dividing it, then the set which consists of more data points, that will become your training set. And the set which will consist less number of data points, that will become your test set. इसका मतलब ये है कि जो आपको ये नहीं सोचना है कि आपको कैसे डिवाइड करना, आपको सिर्फ डिवाइड करना है, बट एक कंडीशन है कि ट्रेनिंग सेट आपके पास ज्यादा डाटा नंबर ऑफ डेटा रहेगा और टेस्ट में कम रहेगा. ओके, ठीक है. तो यू जस्ट नीड टू डिवाइड इट, बिकॉज डेटा सेट जो आपने बनाया है, आपने खुद बनाया है, और उसमें obviously if you are going to form the data set, you will go through several processes. Several means data cleansing part or different other data transformation part, normalization part. This process will come before, and after that only you will get that particular data set you are going to divide into two, that is training and testing. Dipala, have you got this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now for this moment, you just consider that you are dividing it into two sets. In one case, training, and another is test. Now, see, this is the complete data set. 75% যেনেকে মই কলো যে একো নেভাবিবা, just divide करा. What I have told you that आपको कुछ सोचना नहीं है, आपको divide करना है अभी, ठीक है? क्योंकि आपने डाटा प्री प्रोसेसिंग कर लिया है, आपने डाटा क्लींसिंग कर लिया है, ठीक है, नॉइज रिमूवल भी कर लिया है, तो आपको अभी क्या करना है, डिवाइड करना है. तो डिवाइड कैसे करोगे? 75% एट रैंडम, दैट विल बिकम योर ट्रेनिंग डाटा, and meaning that you will keep for test. ठीक है? Now you can take a screenshot of this. Training set tested from the figures. Now is it clear to you? The one who have asked me question just now. Go on.
Sir, outlier
Yes, sir.
outlier থাকিব নেকি sir?
Of course,
Training set বা test set.
it may lie if you are not correctly doing that part. Correctly not doing that part means তুমি ভালকে outlier removal কৰা নাই, noise removal কৰা নাই, তুমি এটো ক'ব নোৱাৰা যে you can remove the 100% of outlier. There may be some data outlier that might present in that set, but overall তুমি কি চেষ্টা কৰিবা যাতে তোমাৰ ডেটা সেটটো কমপ্লিট হয়, তাত কোনো আউটলায়াৰ নাথাকে, নয়েজ নাথাকে, আৰু সেইখিনি কৰাৰ পাছত তুমি এটো ডিভাইড কৰিছা. That is my suggestion also. Okay, from my own experiments in the machine learning field, I do that way. Okay, so then only you will get the best output, right? Bujipala?
Yes, sir.
Okay, eko doubt thakibo nalagbo. You should not have any doubt. किसी के पास भी कोई भी डाउट नहीं रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये दो टर्म जो मैंने लिखा हूं यहाँ पे, ट्रेनिंग डेटा एंड टेस्ट डेटा सेट, इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ see, I am again using the term random, right? But the figures volume in the case of training set, you'll see it is larger than the test set. Matro, only you need to know this fact. Okay, the training set test dot get dangor hobo. You should not forget it, right? So whole learning process we can show in that way. See, input raw data in this case of robots, apple or not. Then environment means some you should forget about this part, because this part I discuss in the AI class, but I will discuss again when I go for discussing this supervised learning. Just you need to know that the model training part is going on here, and then accordingly you'll get some output. Okay, so from the input, model is trained, then when you provide the new data, that is test data, you'll get the output as whether it is an apple or not. This is the whole running process. So let's see the textual definition now. Training set is used to build a model. So training set क्यों चाहिए हमको? ट्रेनिंग सेट আমাক লাগে কাৰণ আমি এটা ডাটা যেটো মেচিন লাৰ্নিং মডেল বা প্যাটাৰ্ন ৰিকগনিশ্যন এপ্ৰোচ বনাইছো, সেই বনাবলৈ আমাক প্ৰথমতে কি বস্তু লাগিব? প্ৰথমতে আমাক লাগিব ট্ৰেইনিং সেট. ওকে, to build that model, first what we'll need a training set, right? It consists of the same of images which are used to train the system. If I'm talking about some unstructured data, so this set of images will be used to train the system. Then training rules and algorithms that will be used give relevant information on how to associate input data with the output decision. The system is trained by applying these algorithms on the data set. All the relevant information is extracted from the data and the results are obtained. This line is important that 80% of the data of the data set is taken for training data. Now, testing data. Testing data is used to test the system. Tumaluke, you have already built the model with the help of training set. Now it's time to check it whether it is going to work properly or not. आप लोग कभी भी कुछ मॉडल बनाते हो पहले क्या करते हो, उसको आपको ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। आप एक बार ट्रेन कर लोगे तो नेक्स्ट टास्क आपका क्या रहेगा कि आप वो मशीन, वो सिस्टम सही ढंग से काम कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, वो चेक करोगे, वो टेस्ट करोगे, और उसके लिए क्या जरूरत पड़ेगा आपको, टेस्टिंग डेटा सेट। Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Oh,
sir,
training
set to মানে 80% ধৰিছো সেইটো 20% আছে হা তো এতিয়া অকল 20% টো ট্ৰেইন কৰা নাছিলো ন তো ডাইৰেক্ট টেষ্টিং সেটত গুছি গৈছিলে তো আকৌ যোনটো ট্ৰেইন কৰিছিলো সেইটো টেষ্ট কেনেকৈ কৰিম
No. চোৱা প্ৰথম কথা মই আকৌ এবাৰ এক্সপ্লেইন কৰিছো data set. I'm coming to the first point again. What do you understand by data set? Data set is a set of collection of data objects. Suppose মই তোমালোকক example দিছিলো about survey data, population survey. Means suppose in 2021 we are going to have what? New census data, right? That तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, पहले डेटा कलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, और जो भी डेटा आप कलेक्ट कर रहे हो तो ऑब्वियसली वो आप नॉइस क्लीनिंग या जो भी प्रोसेस था ये सब करने के बाद आपके पास एक सेट आया, तो उस सेट में सपोज 100 डेटा पॉइंट्स है, उसको आपने डिवाइड किया 80 और 20, ठीक है। तो वो 80 डेटा पॉइंट्स को लेके आप सिस्टम को ट्रेन करोगे कि हाँ ये भाई ये क्या है, आपका एप्पल है और ये एप्पल को आप रिकॉग्नाइज करोगे कि एप्पल का फीचर ये है, और सपोज ये आपका बनाना है तो बनाना का फीचर रिकॉग्नाइज कराओगे। तो ये 80% डेटा आप ट्रेनिंग के लिए लगाओगे, जो 20% बच गया है आपको सिस्टम को चेक करना भी पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आप डायरेक्टली नया डेटा एंटर नहीं करोगे जब तक आपका सिस्टम टेस्टेड accurately. Means to say that first you have trained the model with that 80% of data, and the remaining 20% just you will keep it just to check whether the system is working, that machine that you built is working properly or not. This means whether it can identify a new object correctly or not. जो 80% data था उसमें आप बता रहे थे कि ये एप्पल है, ये एप्पल का फीचर है, जो 20% जो डेटा रहेगा उसमें आप ये नहीं बताओगे कि ये एप्पल ही है, ये सिस्टम आइडेंटिफाई करके देंगे कि हाँ ये एप्पल है। From the 20% of data, when a new data point comes, okay, you will not give the information that this is the apple. Now this is the task of the system that it will recognize that this is the apple. ठीक है, तो ये एक्यूरेसी आप कैलकुलेट करोगे, उसके बाद ही सिस्टम को आप यूज करोगे। Now is this clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
yes sir
Yes, sir.
বুঝি পালা? ঠিক আছে। So testing data is used to measure the accuracy of the system. I have written like that. Testing data is used to measure the accuracy of the system. So be note down kora. After this video, you will get the recorded lecture, and there all of you have to answer that why we need to use test data for measuring the accuracy, or why this sentence is said that testing data is used to measure the accuracy of the system. ये मैंने क्यों कहा कि टेस्टिंग डेटा को सिस्टम का एक्यूरेसी मेजर करने के लिए यूज किया गया है, ये सब आप सभी जन, ठीक है, जब रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर आपको मिल जाएगा वहां पे आप कमेंट करोगे कि क्या क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं हम टेस्टिंग डेटा सिस्टम का accuracy measure करने के लिए, right? All of you. Now, as for example, a system which identifies which category of a particular flower belongs to is able to identify 7 category of flower correctly out of 10 and rest others wrong. Then the accuracy is 70%. Now, take this example. Suppose we have 10 flower. हमारे पास 10 flowers हैं, ठीक है? Say someone is rose, some different types of flower. Now the system is able to classify that 10 are accurately classified, but the rest 3 are wrong. Then we'll say that the system is attaining the accuracy of 70% only. इस समझ में आ गया? 10 में से 7 को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि हाँ ये सही है, ये वाला आपका गुलाब है और ये वाला सपोज समथिंग एल्स, सम अदर फ्लावर्स. ओके, सो बट 3 फ्लावर को ये क्लासिफाई नहीं कर पाए, तो हम बोलेंगे कि उसका एक्यूरेसी 70% है. ठीक है? सो दिस इज अबाउट ट्रेनिंग सेट एंड टेस्टिंग सेट. सो डोंट फॉरगेट द क्वेश्चन, आई एम रिपीटिंग अगेन. नाउ पिक्चोरल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ दिस. See, this is the data. Then we have training data to build the system, testing data to check the correctness of the system. This question might be asked in some examination, that which data we will use for checking the accuracy of the system, of the machine learning model. What will be the answer?
Testing data.
Testing data.
Okay, good. Okay, so now some another examples are also there that I have brought through this slide. Okay, let's see about the pattern of animals. Like I have given that dog and cat. Where is the figure? Let me show you. So in this figure, the system cannot identify at the first time that this is the dog, this is the cat, or this is the duck, right? First, we need to train the model. First, what we will do? We will input some data, some features of this dog, this cat, and this duck, and that process will be known as training. After that, we'll input a random data, that is suppose this one. Then if the system can identify, yeah, this is the cat, then we'll say that yeah, testing process is done accurately. आगे समझ में? तो ये हो जाएगा ट्रेनिंग सेट and then ये हो जाएगा testing. So now you frankly tell me, have you got the meaning of training and testing in
Yes,
the
sir.
pattern recognition process?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir,
Please,
predictive model কি থাকিব?
let me come to the figure. This one. Okay, suppose you are trying to predict. You can use a lot of algorithms are there. We have linear regression. We have logistic regression. Have you heard this term before?
Yes, sir.
Huna paisa tumaloke. Suppose I am using linear regressions. Okay, I can build my predictive model with the help of linear regression. प्रेडिक्टिव मॉडल का मतलब ये है कि आपको जो नया डेटा मिलेगा उससे आप क्या प्रेडिक्ट करोगे और उसमें आप क्या यूज करोगे, ये पूरा आपके ऊपर है. आप माने तुमी सपोज मैं जेनेके कलु linear regression use koisa, you are using linear regression, then for you your predictive model will consist of that model. But suppose I am using deep learning, then that model will consist of deep learning. So it totally depends on you that which algorithm you will consider for your predictive model. Okay, okay, बुझी पाला? Got it?
Okay.
Okay, so that is our predictive model. That predictive model is used to predict about the new data, or I can say about the test data that you are inputting to your model. Okay, just like I can give you an example of weather forecasting. Okay, so that is again one predictive model that we can build, and then we can have stock market predictive model like that. So clear? Now I'm going to take the attendance. Okay then. So I think for today this is sufficient. Yes. And this. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So don't forget to answer the question that I have asked. I'll check the responses. So that's all for tomorrow. Sorry, today, and we'll meet in the next lecture. Because this is the Microsoft team we are using for the first time, might be you are facing some problem, but you'll not face it in the next lecture. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.